Congratulations to the Carter Benette Group. Here to accept the award is the president and founder, Isvar Prasahd.
Old, and it's been 4 months. It's not going to be 45 minutes. And it's been 4 months since I've been in Canada, and it's my first winter. And we're going to go visit my dad at his place of work. And I'm excited to see my dad because he's my dad. And more important, he usually has like a bag of candies waiting for us. So, we see him in the distance. He waves to us. He gathers us together, and he takes us to his office, which is actually a 4x4 plywood shack in the middle of a parking lot. See, my dad parked cars. So we sat there, we ate, we talked, and occasionally my dad would have to leave because he'd have to go park a car. And this day in particular, he had to park the car for the future premiere of Quebec, and he remembers this story distinctly. I won't tell you what he said. But I also remember it was really cold outside, but it was really warm inside that shack because he had a block heater. And I remember seeing next to the block heater, he had like a makeshift shelf, and he had books lined on the shelf. So we'd finish up, and we'd leave, and then my mom would take us home and tuck us into bed, read us great stories, and she'd get up the next morning, and she'd give us a great breakfast, and then she would take us over to a trusted neighbor, and she already told them, listen, can you please just take care of the children? There's not going to be any bother. I've packed the lunch. They have some toys, and I have to go off to work. I'll collect them around supper time, which she always did. So that was our routine, and nothing was out of the ordinary. We were happy. Life was perfect. You see, in our country, Guyana, my dad had started a school. He was actually a principal, and both he and Mom were teachers. In Canada, they took whatever job they could find so they could make ends meet. So a few years ago, my mom and dad retired. My dad retired a professor of political science at Vanier College and Concordia University in Montreal, having inspired and taught future senators, lawyers, politicians. My mom retired as head of library services at McLennan Library at McGill University. She lent her support and the occasional sympathetic ear to future professors, prime ministers, and thousands of students. So watching what they accomplished makes me proud of where we came from and where we are today. And what they taught me about success can be summed up in 4 things. You need to have guts, you need to work hard, you need to make sacrifices, and the most important thing, you need to leave more than you took. These are the values that inspired me and helped me create the Carter Benette Group. And it's the great immigrant story, a story that could be told in hundreds of languages: French, Urdu, Cantonese, Punjabi, Polish, German, Patois, Ukrainian, and many more. Wave after wave of people from different countries landing on these shores, learning how to live backyard to backyard, working shoulder to shoulder, and eating face to face, just like tonight. It's a grand experiment, and it works. That's the great Canadian success story. We have so much to be proud of in this country. We as Canadians have our defining moment. In these times, the color of your skin, your gender, religion, sexual persuasion, even your knee, is used to assess whether or not you're a good citizen or of any value. In Canada, we value people based on the merit of their character. In Canada, we believe a 4-minute Canadian is just as precious as a 400-year Canadian. Canada needs to lead the way. It's no longer a choice, it's an imperative. Organizations like CAMSC champion diversity not as something nice to do, something that fills a column in a spreadsheet, because diversity is what has made and will make Canada great. So the world needs a lot more Canada. And Canada needs a lot more CAMSC. And a shameless plug, maybe you need the Carter Benette Group to clean for you. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening.